London now, where Juliana Olayinka will be updating us about today's early business headlines. Good morning, Juliana. So the latest manufacturing PMI data is out. Fill us in with the numbers.
Good morning, Bissy. Well, it's a good day for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. The UK economic recovery story has been confirmed with this IHS market composite data of PMI, which really tells you what the economy is looking like in June. And it's risen significantly to 47.6 in June from 30 in May, which is a massive leap. In fact, I think that this has been replicated across Europe. I know some of those countries received their PMI data this morning, and as soon as that data was out, we saw a rally across all sectors, really. Brent crude rose, sterling rose, and the FTSE all-share rose. Services, which is a major part of the UK economy, GDP, it rose to 47 from 29, and manufacturing is now above 50 to 50.8, 50 being that important, significant benchmark, which tells the difference between contraction and expansion. So this is a major story, particularly as we are going to be hearing later on in the day from Prime Minister Boris Johnson about the hospitality industry and just whether or not he will be scrapping what for some is a controversial 2-metre social distancing rule. And what economists are now factoring in is that if indeed on July the 4th, pubs, bars and clubs will be open again, then we could in fact start seeing a rise in GDP and some growth in the UK from the third quarter, which does signal to what Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England governor, said during his minutes after the MPC meeting took place on Thursday, which is they've been looking at the data forensically, and the sharp rise in economic activity is on the horizon. So it may be. Of course, there are going to be some caution, and there are some economists that are saying this is great for now. It does show that Britain may indeed be bouncing back, but what comes in the long term? How is the long-term recovery going to be played out? Because, of course, and again, I've been speaking about it a lot on this programme, that furlough scheme, that really kind of worldwide heralded scheme where the British government are paying 80% of people's wages, that is soon going to be tapering off. First, it will be 60%, and then in October, it will be erased. Will there be mass redundancies after that? But so far, so good. The rally has been really strong this morning following that release of data.
At least some good news there. Now, the UK head of the London Stock Exchange has been appointed the chief executive of the Financial Conduct Authority, making him the first leader of the UK's city regulator. Is the market in any way happy about this development?
Well, no response from the market, really, but it's a major role. And Nikhil Rathi is just 40 years old, so it seems to be a major milestone. But he has got pedigree, and according to his former colleagues, he's a super brain, the man with the plan, the man who was always meant to be the FCA chief. And in fact, some people are already tipping him to be the successor of Andrew Bailey. Andrew Bailey is, of course, the predecessor of the job that he's going to be doing, and really what Rathi is going to be doing over the next 5 years is looking at the way industry and government look after businesses in the light of the pandemic and, of course, Brexit, which is going to start creeping up again in the next couple of months. He was a former aide for Prime Minister Tony Blair and Prime Minister Gordon Brown. He then went on to work in the Treasury for about 11 years at a very high-level senior position. And Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, has made this appointment. So he'll be on a 5-year term for £500,000 a year. But like I said, he's well thought of amongst the industry, and he's likely to do a good job.
All right, we'll see how that goes. Now, energy customers face bailiffs as Ofgem is allowing debt collecting again from July. Why is the regulator diving this order now? That's weeks after calling on energy suppliers to offer help to customers who are facing financial pain due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, Ofgem, the industry regulator, they think it's about time. Of course, I believe everybody knows that you cannot put your bills on hold forever. And so what they're saying is that they think now is the right time to do it so it doesn't cause undue debt and burden for customers in the long term. As you said, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there were many sectors of industry that decided to give some customers who were struggling to pay their bills a holiday. And believe it or not, it's actually been 3 months. So now Ofgem has written to energy suppliers saying it is about time that they start claiming their money back. Of course, there are critics that are concerned about bailiffs. We've got a long history of turmoil in this country about bailiffs, particularly their heavy-handedness. And over the years, the way they have been trying to chase for money from some customers has been regulated by the government, but they will be able to be back banging on people's doors if you haven't paid your bills or provided at least some sort of promise to pay with the energy regulators. So at the moment, this is only for energy companies. So there is still a payment holiday in place for local council tax and other sectors. But Ofgem realised that it is about time that these energy suppliers start clawing back the money that they're owed.
Thanks again, Juliana. We'll see you again later.